Just Brian Bennett. Here's a live view from Clearwater Beach. You can see that we have some fairly large surf. Right now we are at high tide, and fortunately the water is behaving itself and staying away from the seawall. It's a little breezy as well. So in this video, I'm going to show you what we can expect from the rest of Tropical Storm Debby, which is going to become Hurricane Debby. Right now, the maximum winds from Debby are right around 65 miles per hour. The center of the storm is located about due west of Bradenton, and the winds are going to increase as the storm intensifies a bit before making landfall. We could see winds sustained around 90 miles per hour near the very center of the storm as it makes landfall Sunday night and into Monday morning, and then slowly meanders off to the northeast and continues to drop a ton of rain. Right now, the winds aren't too bad. We're looking at winds gusting 20 to 25 miles per hour in the Tampa area and maybe 35, 40 miles per hour down towards Miami. The stronger winds are at the immediate beach and areas just offshore. Obviously, as the storm moves on shore, it'll take those stronger winds with it. Some large surf. The Clearwater buoy right now reporting 9.2-foot seas. So, yeah, nearly 10-foot seas. We are looking at the possibility for some storm surge flooding. We are looking at the high astronomical tide because of the new moon. Combine that with the low pressure and the onshore winds, and we can expect a surge in the Tampa Bay area of right around 3 feet, maybe up to 5 feet, and perhaps some of the northern communities. And then farther north in the eastern Big Bend, that's where the big surge will be, around 6 to 10 foot storm surge possible. Here's a look at the storm. Right now, it doesn't have that super classic hurricane or tropical storm look. There is a bit of a westerly wind shear and a bit of dry air on the western side that's keeping it a little more ragged. But as it continues to move north, I think it'll get better situated and more symmetric. We can see the convection developing around the center of the storm, so it will continue to intensify as that convection wraps around the entire low pressure. Now, what's concerning for Tampa Bay and much of the peninsula is this long area of rain bands and squalls stretching all the way down to Cuba. That will still move up over the western part of Florida and bring with it continued heavy rain. So lots of flooding possible as the storm continues to slowly move off to the north. Here's the Hurricane Center forecast, and let me refresh this to make sure we don't have anything new. Nope, we don't. And to look at this, the storm really slows to a crawl once it moves on shore. So we're looking at the possibility for maybe 20 inches of rain in areas of coastal South Carolina and coastal Georgia. So the defining feature of this storm will be the heavy rain. The center of the storm is going to move on shore in either Taylor or Dixie County, which is kind of a typically unusual spot. This is going back to 1900. This area has only had two direct hits since 1900. That goes back 124 years. But yet, it seems to be kind of a hot spot for tropical activity over the last couple of years. So the weather patterns are changing. But nonetheless, a hurricane will make landfall as a Cat 1 in this area Monday morning. Tiny chance it could become a Cat 2, but mostly likely going to remain a Cat 1 as it makes landfall. Here's a look at the radar picture. Here's Tampa Bay right here, Pinellas County, Hillsborough County. You can see the rain is just now moving in, but it's going to continue swirling around that center of low pressure. So lots more rain to come. So be prepared for the flooding rains and flooded roadways as we head into Sunday evening, Sunday night, and maybe even lingering into Monday morning as well. Center of the storm, as of the latest observation, was due west of Sanibel. I think it's moved north a little bit. It's probably due west of Bradenton and Sarasota area right now. Let's take this future radar into the future to kind of show you how this storm will look as it progresses into the future. So here we are right about now, and you can see the center of the swirling storm will remain offshore of Tampa Bay, but nonetheless, we're on that wet eastern side of the storm. So here we are. This is sunset right here, and you can see we're still getting those heavy downpours wrapping around that center of circulation. So Sunday will be rainy all day long. Eventually, that rain will start to accumulate and potentially cause some, I say potentially, it's going to cause some road flooding, especially in the more urban areas, and especially during these heavier rain bands that are moving through. So do anticipate heavy rain. If you're in spots that typically floods with rainfall events, you might want to move your vehicle to a spot that hopefully won't be impacted by any flooding conditions that could occur. And of course, remember not to drive through any flooded roadways. Turn around, don't drown, as the saying goes from the National Weather Service. Here we are. This is 3 o'clock in the morning. You can see we're still getting lots of heavy rain coming down, wrapping around that storm. Remember, it's intensifying, has a big, broad, low pressure in the middle, but still getting heavy rain overnight tonight in the Tampa Bay area. And look at these lingering rain bands. This is what I was talking about. So even though the storm has made landfall by Monday morning, we're still getting those rain bands that are training in, and it's those training rain bands that can kind of get you. You might think the storm's kind of quieting down, but these bands can rotate over you, and that's where the significant flooding can really start to occur. But you did notice the HRR model here has the storm making landfall in the eastern Big Bend, which kind of goes along with the Hurricane Center and what I'm thinking as well. As we head towards Monday afternoon, here we are Monday afternoon. The storm has made landfall, but we're still continuing to see some of these rain bands wrapping around the storm through central Florida. So the flooding risk will continue. Not for everybody. Notice it's not raining in every county and every location at this particular hour, midday Monday afternoon, but there are some spots that could continue to receive accumulating precip on top of already saturated ground. And then moving forward to sunset on Monday, those rain bands will finally start to fizzle out and start to move out of our area. And as we move towards Monday night and Tuesday morning, still a couple of rain bands over moving through the area, but for the most part, quieting down for Tampa Bay. So, how much rain are we talking about? This is a model called the NOAA blend model. It takes a blend of, I believe, over 30 different models and puts it together into one nice little clean picture. And let's go back here so it'll be a little bit cleaner for you to see and kind of get your position here. So here's the state of Florida right here, and here's Tampa, St. Petersburg. Take this into the future, and you can see that this storm is going to drop a lot of rain. So in total, by by the middle part of the week, we're looking at the potential for 8, 9 inches or so of rain in coastal areas of Pinellas County, including St. Pete Beach. Head northward into coastal Hernando, Pasco County, same thing. 8, 9 inches of rain possible as an accumulation between now and the middle part of the week. Or again, remember those spiral rain bands continuing to move in and add to these rainfall totals. But the majority of the heavy rain for Tampa Bay will happen later on, actually all day Sunday, Sunday night, and wrapping up on Monday. But then notice what happens as the storm kind of stalls out a bit to our north. We're looking at the possibility for about 20 inches of rain falling in the Savannah, Charleston, and other areas of coastal South Carolina. So this could be a devastating event rainfall wise for many folks, and even a lot of rain stretching through Live Oak and northern Ocala areas as well. So, as I mentioned earlier, the storm most likely being defined by the heavy rainfall that it's going to drop because of the slow movement off to the north. Here's the wind speed and wind direction. The maximum wind speeds from the storm and the majority of the Tampa Bay area will be right around sunset Sunday evening, and the center of the storm will continue to move to the north intensify a bit, move on shore right around, let's say, about 5 o'clock in the morning. 5 o'clock Monday morning, the storm moves on shore. And also notice what happens with this counterclockwise circulation. We get those onshore winds, which can exacerbate storm surge, especially for areas up to our north with a little bit more favorable bathymetry, ocean bottom for these larger storm surge values, and also the stronger winds as well. But not to say that prone areas like Pass-a-Grille Beach and the Tampa Bay area will not experience storm surge flooding. I do expect the water to come onshore in the more prone locations Sunday evening and into Sunday night as well. Onshore winds continue, so lots of beach erosion continues. We head into Monday and Tuesday with those onshore winds continuing to blow in our area. We will see the potential for a few strong wind gusts. The RRFSA model here indicating the possibility for a wind gust of upwards of around 60 miles per hour at the immediate beach of northwestern Manatee County, coastal Pinellas County, and even possibly up into Pasco and Citrus and Hernando counties as well. And then the winds will kind of fall off considerably once you head inland a bit. So the strongest winds being right at the beach. And then as that storm makes landfall, we could see winds gusting 70, 80 miles per hour, maybe even a quick gust up to 90 miles per hour in the immediate beach locations. So trees will go down in some areas of northern Florida, which will result in some power outages, of course, with some trees being knocked down, unfortunately. And then the winds will kind of die down a little bit as it moves on shore, but that rain will continue. There is a tornado risk as well. This is the significant tornado parameter, the STP from the HRR model, and where you see the light blue, that indicates possibility for some storm circulation that could wrap up and cause a possibility for a quick tornado, as we typically see on the eastern quadrant of hurricanes. So you can see quite a bit of blue there as we head through Sunday night and into Monday. So the possibility for a quick tornado does exist. So keep an eye out for any warnings that may be issued from the National Weather Service. They will be keeping a close eye on the possibility for something tornadic. Here's the peak storm surge forecast. We're looking at 3 to 5 foot surge possible in parts of Tampa Bay, and then 6 to 10 feet surge once you get up to the Big Bend with those onshore winds. So surge will be a potential issue. If you want to zoom into your area, this is kind of a cool product put out by the National Hurricane Center. I'll put the link in the comments section. But with this, you can actually zoom into your area and it will show you inundation. And what inundation is, it's water in an area that is typically dry. So take Pass-a-Grille Beach here, and you can see that they're expecting upwards of 3 feet, represented by the yellow, upwards of 3 feet on the beaches in the sandy area, likely not overcoming the dunes, but nonetheless high waters on the beach. On the backside of Pass-a-Grille, we know that's where the tendency for the water to come on shore is. So I think that water will come onto the area roadways Sunday night, maybe Monday morning, associated with these strong onshore winds. Not the worst surge we've ever seen, but something to be aware of and keep an eye out for, especially if you live in more prone locations. This is a product put out by the National Weather Prediction Service, and this shows you the possibility for river flooding. And you can click on these, and again, I'll put this link into the comments as well. You can click on these, like this guy here. Where was this? This is in northern Florida, St. Mary's River, and I'll show you what that looks like. St. Mary's River, we're expecting up to 19 feet of water in the river, which will be major flooding. So it will be exceeding its banks at the St. Mary's River. And everywhere you see the red and even the orange, we're expecting the rivers to overcome their banks. So lots of river flooding. So there will likely, unfortunately, be the need for some water rescues or from some low-lying communities due to freshwater flooding and river flooding all across parts of the southeast as the storm continues to progress off to the north. Back to storm surge before we wrap up. The water values right now, we're looking at 4.26 feet above mean low level water levels at Clearwater Beach. So the water's high, but it's not exceeding the dunes right now, but we'll keep an eye on that. Otherwise, stay safe out there. Watch out for the heavy rain. And again, I'll have updates and live reports from actually out in the field a bit later today. All right, stay safe, everyone.